Welcome to the Sharpe Way Show. So happy to have you with me this evening, right at 7 p.m. on the East Coast. Yes, it's Friday night. And I was thinking, what should I chat about this evening? And then I thought to myself, the government is about to shut down. Yes, the government is about to shut down. And should we be crying or not, or worried or not? And they might go, Larry, clearly you are not concerned about this. You are a libertarian. You're probably laughing at the government shutting down. Well, actually, I'm not. And I want to tell you why it actually matters or doesn't matter, and the realities of all of it. On a philosophical level, you would be correct. Philosophically, that does sound nice. But in reality, these shutdowns just often wind up in the long run making things worse because they don't have actual change, right? I would like actual change. That's what I would prefer. But it does feel good sometimes to watch this happen. That's true. It does sometimes feel good to watch these things happen. However, the problem is other things are happening too, which is a big issue. Now, you might say, okay, but should the Congress let the government, shut down? They must care about the people, and they care about, what's happening. In reality, they don't. And that's the part I want to bring up. They will talk like they care. They don't. This is political movements on one side or the other. Why is one group so adamant and the other group not so adamant, doesn't care, or so fighting now against Chuck Schumer or with Chuck Schumer? Why? Why are they doing this? Well, I'm going to show you a couple things if I could. Lunatic pops in right away, coming in hot. Thank you for the super chat. Government should be shut down, but should be permanent shutdown. Okay, not saying you're wrong in that, but we should have a plan to shut down. I remember years ago, people were teasing me why, when this is back, is it 2020 maybe? It might have been 2020 when, or was it 2016? I forgot. When Adam Kokesh out of Arizona was running for president of the Libertarian Party. And people were like, Larry, why do you talk down? Why are you serious? I said, well, he's my friend anyway. He's a fellow Marine. He's a friend of mine anyway, right? People don't like him. I know some people don't like Adam Kokesh. I don't care. I like him. He's my friend. It's fine. But I said, because even though he's a radical, and he would not be mad if I said that, if he happens to be watching and he hears it or knows it, if I call him a radical, he's not gonna be like, you're wrong. He's gonna be like, yeah, accurate. He will be down with you completely. Even he didn't say just shut down. What he said is he wanted an orderly, like receivership, bankruptcy, dissolution of the federal government down to states and local governments. And I'm like, at least that's a plan, right? I mean, was that going to happen? Obviously not, but doesn't matter. Adam actually had a plan. He didn't go, shut it down. He went, here's how we do it. We can make this happen orderly so that people aren't, screwed over. And that to me actually made sense. I was like, okay, at least he's got a plan. You know me. If you're going to say I want stuff done, I like a plan. Adam did have a plan. So that was something I enjoyed. So this idea of just, we can't get our crap together, so the government shuts down, that's terrible. A planned way of shutting it down, my ears are wide open, right? For that, wide open. I know Pete's are, because Pete coming in hot too. Thank you from over to X. 36 trillion, 217 billion, 410 million, 341,236.56. And as I speak about this, it just went up. Yes, so I think you and Lunatic are in the same boat. I get it. However, none of these guys care about that. I'm not saying you're wrong, but none of these care about that. Roz is like, I like his plan. I did too, right? So that's why I still remember. I think it was 2020. If I'm not mistaken. I think it was 2020, but it might have been 2016. But I think it was 2020. So yes, I'm with you. So, any case. Let me keep going down here if I could. I want to show you what everyone's talking about, just what their actual words are, what they're saying, and why they're saying it, right? So you might think, well, Larry, it's because they care about. Don't ever think it's because they care about people. That's not a thing. That's not a thing. There are other reasons why they would do what they do, but it's not because they care about people. That's not a thing. All right.
To be clear, Republicans aren't thrilled about another CR.
So the Republicans, he said, this, by the way, is the majority leader. He leads the Senate. And he says And he says, we're not happy about this.
But it is our best option to make sure that last year's failure by Democrats doesn't interfere with this year's appropriations process.
So his idea is, we're not happy, but we're going to do it. Dude, you're in charge. Like, you could decide this. He's like, it's not me. It's because the Dems are bad. That's BS, dude.
And I'm hopeful that enough Democrats will reject their party's threat of shutting down the government to get this bill passed today.
I will vote to keep the government open. I believe it is the best way to minimize the harm.
Now, like 5 minutes before this, I'm exaggerating, but like 5 minutes before this, he was saying, we're not doing it. We're going to fight. Remember, this is the leader of the Democratic Party here in not just New York State, but in the Senate, right? New York runs Congress, right? We control everything in Congress, right? New York State does. New York City too, probably forward. But yes, in this case, right? So he said, I'm not gonna. And then he said, I'm gonna. Wait a minute. Why, Chuck? I thought you cared so much. Oh, maybe. Okay. Why?
That the Trump administration will do to the American people.
Of course. 'Cause Orange Man bad. Of course. What other reason would there be besides Orange Man bad?
In a shutdown, Donald Trump and Doge will have the power to determine what is considered essential and what is not.
See that?
And their views on what is not essential.
And the worst part is he's doing what he always does. He just reads stuff that his team put together. Now you might say, Larry, does this really matter? It does. It matters. You can see what else comes up. There's more to this. There's something deeper that people aren't seeing. And I'm going to explain in a second as we keep going.
Would be mean and vicious.
See that? Donald Trump is mean and vicious. That's the other. So here's what he just said. Donald Trump is mean and vicious, so I'm going to vote with him. Am I making this up? That's what he just said.
And would decimate vital services.
We've grown now to a massive size that we've got to reduce again.
Now here come Republicans saying how we've grown so big, so we've got to reduce it. We're going to reduce it, but here's how we're going to do that. Some of you are like, wait a minute, Larry. How are we going to reduce it? Okay, here's how we reduce it. By changing nothing. That's how. Also known as magic. Maybe they're all on keto. That's what it is. Because we've discussed this already. Keto is magic. So maybe all the Senate Republicans are just going to go on keto. And because keto is magic, that when they do keto, the debt will go away. That will be a plan, at least. Something.
Everybody knows it. But if you're a federal worker or a family member or a next door neighbor, you go to church together, you know how agonizing this really is. The last thing those federal workers need is one more thing hanging over their head of a government shutdown at the same time.
Now, this guy at least was being honest. He said, we're firing a whole bunch of you. And you see it as we're firing people. You see it everywhere. You see it. And the last thing is to think that you might get fired. We're just going to fire you. Let's get some certainty, which is actually honest. I mean, it's terrible if you're the person getting fired. But at least it's like, look, we're firing a bunch of you. At least just know you're getting fired. And then you could go do something. And that's how it works. So, yeah, that's how that works. So, yeah. AC, you are right in the money. He says that his reasoning is Orange Man bad, but his real reasoning is rich donors call me and tell me what to do. The government shutdown is bad for the market. Donors no liking. Yes. AC, that is 100% correct. Yes. But he will say Orange Man bad because that's what the person writing it on his piece of paper told him to say. So they called him and they said, hey, don't you dare do that. I'm your donor. I own you. Do as I say. And he went, yeah, you're right. Hey, young speechwriter, because I don't know anything, write something that I hope my Democrats will understand. And he went, okay, I'll just do some Orange Man bad stuff. He went, good. Guy wrote down some Orange Man bad stuff. And then Chuck went out and read. And it's not because donors at all, AC. Not that. It's because Orange Man bad. Therefore, I'm going to vote with him. You're exactly correct. That's literally what happened. Yes. Ryan, of course, is right there. Thanks for being a member. Orange Man bad. No, I know we were shocked. We didn't know that was coming. I didn't know it was coming. I can't believe it. They never use that. They never do. I'm going to grab a couple of these if I can. Let's see here. I'm looking over at Rumble. Just because says he's a dirty, rotten POS, Chuck Schumer. Deport his derriere to Palestine. Well, I don't think he'd want to go, and I think that's your point. So, yes, if he decided to leave, I would not be happy. But I'm going to have some news that you may enjoy, Lunatic. You may enjoy, because there is something else happening here, which I'm going to show you, which does affect him that people aren't seeing. I'm telling you, there's something else happening here. And I'm going to give you another one of my predictions. It's inside baseball. Some of you are not going to believe me, but you're going to see I'm right.
I am very reluctant to support a long-term CR.
Murkowski is reluctant. Here's what I love. Every one of them is going, I hate this, and they're voting for it. But note what's in front of all of their names. SEN. They're all senators. Now, don't they decide on this? So it's like me saying, I hate that I go live at 7. Can't believe I'm going live at 7. Hey, Larry, you decide when you go live. Yeah, but I just, I hate it's 7 o'clock. Can't go live at 7. I'm reluctantly. Dude, you pick it. Go live when you want. This is them.
I do not like the fact that
I don't like it.
It gives the executive branch the authority that we own as members of Congress when it comes.
Then why are you giving it away? Do you hear these? And people vote for these people. Thune, I run everything. This is a terrible bill. I don't like it. You own it. Change it if you don't like it. Or shut up, say it's great, and vote for it. He won't. And Murkowski's, because of her swing vote, and because of her being in Alaska and having ranked choice voting, she is one of the most powerful Republicans in the Senate. Because of that, not because she personally is that powerful, because of that she is. She could say no, and she wouldn't lose her seat. She could say no. She's not saying no. Hey, AC, I think there may be some other donors calling some other people. It may not just be Chuck Schumer, huh? Maybe?
Comes to defining spending priorities.
See that?
But I also cannot, I cannot be part of anything that ultimately shuts this government down. We are in a bad place. And
I'm a Republican and I like small government, except when my donors get mad at me, then I don't care.
I regret, but I can tell you, for one, as a member of the Appropriations Committee, I want us to be able to do our work.
Yeah.
And I want to be able to see our work completed.
After the election, I was pushing very hard to get our funding bills done.
Why do they ever put her in front of anybody? She's as bad as Chuck Schumer.
And wrapped up by the end of the year. My Democratic colleagues and even many of my Republican colleagues wanted to get that done.
Yeah,
but
then what?
Speaker Johnson and Trump chose to kick the can down the road.
See that? It's not. See? You guys think it's because the Democrats are scared and have no backbone and don't stand up at all. You think it's because that. No. It's because Donald Trump and Speaker Johnson, something or other. That's the reason. Stop acting like these people on. It's because something with Orange Man. That's the reason. God. That's why she has to vote with the Orange Man. He's terrible. I got to vote. None of this makes any sense. Of course not. Of course not. And sadly, AC took all my thunder on that one. It's all because donors. They don't care about you. They don't. I say it like every other week. They don't.
The year-long CR House Republicans sent our way hands a blank check to Elon Musk and Donald Trump.
It hands a blank check to Elon Musk, the evil one, and to Donald Trump, the orangest of all the orange men, without question. It's terrible, so I'm going to vote for it. What?
To decide how our constituents' taxpayer dollars get spent, all while cutting the funding working people count on each and every day.
And she's going to vote for it.
It is anything but a, quote, clean CR. The bottom line is this bill will mean more pain and chaos for our country. I cannot support it.
The bill under consideration
will she not?
today
Okay,
is a
maybe I'm wrong
disappointment.
here.
The bill is a disappointment to those who believe that congressional leadership should have used the 3 months since they came into office, since Doge and Elon Musk have identified this waste. They should have used that waste and incorporated it into the spending bill.
Now, here is the part that makes so many Republicans angry. How dare Thomas Massie and Rand Paul, sorry, I didn't mean to insult Ron Paul. Rand Paul's still good. He's not Ron Paul, though, but they're good. How dare Rand Paul and Thomas Massie not vote for these bills? How dare you? I'm Greta Thunberg now. How dare you? Because there are two people who actually have at least some principles. I mean, Massie has a whole lot, but I mean, someone's got some principles. It actually matters. That's the key, right? They actually have some. And I think that part drives a lot of people nuts. They get mad. No, he's right. He's right. He needs to he needs to be principled. I wish more people were principled. Even if I disagree with them, and you've heard me say it, I don't mean that as a joke or like I'm teasing. I only want my people to do it. I really wish I had my people doing it, right? I do, of course. But if everybody would be principled towards what they're talking about, then you'd have a better party and more trust in the government in general because they'd be some principled people. But no, that's not what happens. So yeah, exactly. Let me grab it. Cheyenne, I appreciate that. Cheyenne says they should all be principled. Thank you for being a member, Cheyenne. Yes, right? AOC ran on Medicare for all. Clearly, I'm not for Medicare for all. AOC should be pushing Medicare for all the time. Why? Because she ran on it. To your point, Cheyenne, and I would respect her more. I respect Bernie more. I mean, he sold out. Years ago, I did, I should say. I used to respect Bernie a lot because he would still push it no matter what. He would push it no matter what. I still talk about Jimmy McMillan talking about the rent is too damn high. He wanted rent control. I don't believe in rent control. But that guy believed in rent control. He really did. And he pushed it. I mean, obviously, he was never going to win, but it doesn't matter. He actually has some principles. And he's like, that's what I stand by. You can't find that now. Except guys like him. And boy, are people getting upset. Now, why do I care about him and Massie more than anything? Why do I care? Because I'm libertarian? Yes. But not just that. Because right now, Trump is creating a coalition. He has a coalition right now. Maha's part of that coalition, which I care about that. Libertarians part of that coalition. I care about that. I care about these type of coalitions he's trying to create. I get it. And I care about them. My worry is they go the same way that Tea Party went. The same way that all those other places, just go away, right? The Freedom Caucus just goes away. My worry is it goes away because once you walk away too far, all of a sudden you get crushed, right? That's my worry. And I tell you this, because I know a lot of people watching are okay with Trump as long as he's Maha or some of you are both, some of you one or the other, and or more libertarian friendly. You're like, okay, I'll deal with it because he's more libertarian friendly, or I'll deal with it because he's Maha friendly, so I'll deal with it. But when this stuff happens, and you start seeing what's going on, you realize, you know what? That could change. That could change.
None of the Doge cuts, none of Elon Musk's suggestions have been incorporated into the spending bill. The spending bill continues spending at the Biden levels.
That's it. Doesn't change. And that's my point. So let me now go on to what else is happening. This is an interesting piece that this is specifically the Democrats now being pissed off. No, all those people were senators. All were senators. So this is something else I want to show you. Just so you'll see this too. And you may see where I'm going with this after you watch this one.
Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer is feeling the heat from members of his own party.
Here's Schumer on the Senate floor yesterday.
While the CR bill is very bad, the potential for a shutdown has consequences for America.
See that?
That are much, much worse. For sure, the Republican bill is a terrible option. But I believe allowing Donald Trump to take even much more power via a government shutdown is a far worse option.
Some Democrats weren't happy with Schumer conceding to Republican CR bill. Here's Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
I think there is a deep sense of outrage and betrayal. And this is not just about progressive Democrats. This is
now this part here, that this is so disappointing for me in several ways. You've always heard me say that I'm disappointed in AOC for many reasons. When she first came aboard, I'm not joking, when she was first running, I was trying to get my friends, the people I know, into her campaign, because I wanted so desperately to turn her into at least being kind of libertarian something. I was trying. It was a lost cause, but I just saw what potential she had. I saw what potential she had years ago. And when I saw it, and she's my congressperson, I literally was trying to get people to get, they would not talk to me at all. None of my people, they completely, utterly ignored me. Even when Tiffany Caban was running, they totally and absolutely ignored me. And I tried to get it in because I was hoping desperately somehow, obviously wasting my time, it didn't work. But the thought process was, if I could turn her in some way, shape, or form. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez has a work ethic. And not just that, she's a work ethic, and she has enough charisma. She's enough charisma that she could actually make impact. She's known enough. She can get press. If she would actually try to help and do something right, she could. She has the potential to make impact. And she's throwing it away. She's just throwing it away. And it's disappointing.
across the board, the entire party. There are members of Congress who have won Trump-held districts in some of the most difficult territory in the United States, who walked the plank and took innumerable risks in order to defend the American people, in order to defend Social Security, Medicaid, and Medicare.
None of that's true.
Just to see Senate Democrats even consider acquiescing to Elon.
Now, this is all not true. This is great theater. None of it's true. Why is none of it true? Here's the reason why. None of it's true because the Senate was going to pass it no matter what. So the Congress, and the Congress couldn't stop it. The Democrats in Congress could not stop it. It was impossible. And the Senate was going to pass it. So whatever Democratic Congress people did was irrelevant. So she can now grandstand. That's why I mentioned all the people talking, those are all senators. Democratic senators had to worry. Now they had to decide which ones could they sell out to. Now like 10 sold out or whatever it was. It just got passed like, I don't know, an hour ago, 2 hours ago, whatever it was, relatively recently, right? It just got passed. But in any case, but the House, what do they care? This is safe for her to say this. That's the issue. But what if it mattered? What if the House Democrats could have actually stopped this? She wouldn't be saying this. She'd be thinking, what do my donors think? To AC's point, what do my donors think? How does this affect me? What should I do? She's safe. When she's not safe, when does she talk? This is my biggest disappointment with her, because she actually could make impact. She actually could do something if she wanted to. She's safe enough. The odds of her if she were to actually be as left as this district is, and I live in this district, it's very left. If she were to actually be as left as this district is and not be establishment, she would be untouchable, just like Thomas Massie. Thomas Massie is untouchable. AIPAC can't stop Thomas Massie. He's untouchable. He doesn't care if Trump wants to primary him. He's like, go primary, I don't care. He's going to win. He knows. He knows. She could, if she wanted to, be untouchable. She's not doing it. But there's a reason why. Let's see why. There's a reason why.
On Musk, I think it is a huge slap in the face, and I think that there's a wide sense of betrayal if things proceed as currently planned. If people think this is a left issue or a right issue, it's not. It's genuinely not. This is about our values and what we stand for, and it's about the right thing and the wrong thing. And we have time to correct course, and I think that's the most urgent message of them all.
One Democrat told CNN that some in the House are going so far as to push Ocasio-Cortez to run against Schumer in the primary.
What? Wait a minute. Run against Schumer? Huh. that seems weird. Yes, that's not so weird. This is, by the way, the reason why she's being so aggressive is she's not necessarily trying to take Schumer's place. Not yet. That might happen in the future, but not yet. What she's trying to foster right now is a coup. I'm not joking. This is what you're going to see. This is the beginnings of a coup against Schumer. That's the issue. This is the beginnings of a coup against Schumer. This actually isn't necessarily at this point. This is not, she's not trying to set herself up to win something or anything like that. She's trying to set herself up to be the person who begins the movement to oust Schumer as head of the Democrats right now, because they're watching how weak he looks. They're seeing how bad he is. They're seeing how he won't change, that he's so embarrassingly bad and he only cares about seniority and he will not leave. And Democrats have no one to step up and fight him. Who have they sent to fight Trump? My governor, Kathy Hochul. Hochul is the one who they've sent to fight Trump. That's not working, but okay. I'm not saying that some of you are laughing. I know. I'm not saying it's working. I'm telling you what they've done. They've sent Hochul off to go fight Trump. Okay. But now the problem is they got nobody else. There's no fighters. I've been telling you, need fighters. I keep saying they need fighters. They're trying to get her to set up a coup against Schumer. That's the goal. They want Schumer to be gone. And you're going to start seeing in the next 3 months a bunch of rumblings to get rid of Schumer. If not Schumer, even Hakeem Jeffries. Because again, last year, none of the leadership was removed, except one person retired, but not purposely removed. None were removed. They want new leadership. And she's the one to start. She's the one to start. Yes. Felicia says, if AOC is the best Democrats have, then they're in trouble. Felicia, they're in trouble. I think we've been talking about this. I've done like 2 shows on this. The Democrats are in trouble. You are correct. You are correct. They're in trouble. She says, oh my God, please have AOC as party leader because Republicans will be running America for the next 20 years. Who else they got? You see a bench someplace. You see a bench someplace. Who else they got? You're not wrong, Felicia. Look, this is the issue. So many people think, and I hear this all the time, they would never do that, makes no sense, or they would never do that, blah, 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 blah. Who cares? People, first off, politics is super petty. And to think that they have some grand plan is to imagine something that just is almost never true. Half these guys never think past 5 years. That's probably too long. 2 years. Have never think that fast. So yes, Felicia, you're correct. They're in trouble, and this is true. Both of those are true. Yes, that's it. Rhetoric says, the universe where AOC is Larry's protege is the one I want to see. You know what? I was trying, Rhetoric. I was trying. It clearly didn't work. They completely ignored me, did not give a damn what I had to say. But I did try. That's all I can tell you. I tried. I had some people who I knew who are more further left. I had them reach out to. I reached out directly. I saw one of the people on the street. I asked them. Nothing. I had a friend who was a donor. I asked that friend who was a donor if she would let me in. No. And the donor told me, they don't want to talk to you, Larry. Literally, she told me right to my face, they don't want to talk to you. I was like, damn, okay. So I did try. So maybe in a parallel universe, somewhere in a Marvel universe, it's a parallel universe where like she's a libertarian. There's probably one. There's probably one universe somewhere. That'd be a cool one, wouldn't it? We don't live in that universe, though. We don't live in that universe. So yes. Let me keep going here. The AC says 2024 United States Senate election in New York, Jill Brand was reelected to a third full term, defeating Republican nominee Mike Sapriacone with 8% of the vote. Is that for me? Thank you for that. Is that for me? Yeah. I'm not saying that she's not going to try to run for Senate. She might. That's possible. But this isn't about that, right? This is not about that. Yeah. That this is not about her running for Senate. Oh, wait a minute. Mike says AOC saying it to get bonus points towards a run for Jill Brand and a way to run for. That's not true. No, that's not what this is about. She may do that in the future. I don't doubt that at all. But this is not about that. This is about trying to ferment an actual coup against Schumer. The next 3 months, they're going to try to work on it. It will work or it will work or it won't. Now, Schumer's no schlub. Schumer has a lot of money. He's no schlub, but he has been weak. And once it's weak, that's when the jackals come out, the knives come out. So If you're going to mount or attempt in a coup against Schumer, now is the time. This is the right time to try. I don't know if he can do it. He's no schlub, and you'd have to get a lot of people on his side. Now, the advantage, I'm looking over now and seeing which Democrats voted with him. If I can find them, Chuck Schumer, Fetterman, Catherine Cortez Masto, Angus King, of course, Dick Durbin, Brian Schatz, Gary Peters, Kirsten Dirlebrand, of course, Jean Shaheen, and Maggie Hassan. That's who voted with him. So those are people who have jumped on board, and they're Team Schumer. Are those people and their donors, to AC's earlier point, are they powerful enough to push off a coup? Now, here's the issue. Do the donors actually care about Chuck Schumer? Some do. There are some personal relationships that are there. That's true. Some are actually personal. A lot aren't. If the next person who wants to be the leader, if he or she will kiss up to those donors, they got a shot. That's all I'm saying. So yeah, they do have a shot at this point. So, all righty. I'm gonna grab a couple more. Ray says, thank you for the $5. The Green New Grift. Yes. Accurate. Ryan, thank you for the $10. The Dems aren't in disarray. They're absolutely dysfunctional right now. Yes, absolutely. Felicia, you are correct, right? You're looking at this laughing, but it's real. It is real. I said in December that they should lay low, not fight anything, and rebrand. They clearly didn't listen. Sad but true. The problem is, how can you rebrand? This is the problem for Democrats, is that Trump won't stop punching, right? If you're a Republican, you're loving this. Trump does not stop punching. If you're a Democrat, you're like, stop punching. We got to regroup. Stop punching. But Trump keeps punching. They don't have any way. It's a difference in militarily. There's 3 ways to leave the battlefield if you're losing. 3 ways. The first is the best way, a withdrawal. You know the battle's going to go poorly. You know you're probably not going to win. You don't think it's worth the fight. You orderly withdraw your forces before there's a battle, right? That is always the best way to leave the field. If you're not going to win, that's always the best. It's orderly. You keep your troops. You keep almost all your equipment. You move back orderly. You don't lose. You're able to defend yourself on the way back. That's the best way of going. The second way is retreat. You get into a battle. You recognize you're losing the battle, and you begin to fall back. But you fall back in a retreat. You will lose a lot of your equipment, but at least some of your equipment, you keep most of your people. You may lose some of your wounded. You keep a lot of your wounded if you can. You come back. You're able to defend yourself. The last is a rout. That's when you just drop your stuff and run. You lose almost all your equipment. You're just running away. You're total disarray. Nothing's together. You don't know your units are. You lose all unit cohesion, all gone. The Democrats are in a rout. They're in a rout, right? And the reason is they fought and tried to orderly retreat. But the problem is the Trump cavalry is riding down the retreaters. And he keeps fighting. He's not letting them retreat. He keeps attacking. He's attacking the retreating columns. And they're broken and they're in disarray. You are correct. They're in a total rout. Correct. So how do you rebrand? How do you reorg when you're in a total rout? Right? And now you've got a commander, Schumer, who's going, everything is fine. We're going to end up an orange man is still bad. Meanwhile, the Democrats are throwing the rifles on the ground and running. You got to get rid of that guy. And I think that part they figured out. They got to get rid of that guy, right? If you see what they're trying to do, it's not working, right? Michelle Obama is not going to jump in this fray. The best they gave her was, we'll give you a podcast so you can motivate people because people like you. That's the hope. The problem is the people who like Michelle Obama, and there are tens of millions of them, they don't listen to podcasts. The podcast audience, that genre of people, they don't. They're not Michelle Obama fans, right? Now, Gavin Newsom, savvier, does it, and what does he do? He invites the podcast people onto his show, and Democrats get mad, but Newsom is killing it because Newsom is savvy. I tell you guys that. I know you guys hate Newsom. I hate him too. He's a terrible governor. But the guy's savvy. I give credit where credit is due. Newsom is savvy. He's a terrible governor, but a damn good politician. And people think he isn't and underestimate him. You are fooling yourself. You're making a terrible mistake. That man is a savvy politician. and he's showing it again. He's getting all the people watching his show. He's getting all the attention, all his show. Nobody watched Michelle's show because Michelle was like, let's put on more Democrats and talk Democrat stuff about Barack Obama. And nobody cares. Nobody cares. So anyway, Newsom is too savvy to try to take charge of this army. The Democratic army's broken. It's in a rout. You're exactly correct. He's not taking charge of this army. He's like, I'm not touching that. I'll let somebody else fix that. I'll pick up that army later after they fixed it. And now people are trying to say, who's going to do this? Kathy Hochul doesn't have the intellect or the charisma to foster any type of coup. She just doesn't have it. She can't. It's not her thing. AOC probably can't either. But at least she has the charisma and the ability to see things, people to see her. She can begin for someone who can organize this thing to get rid of Schumer. That's what's happening now. I went long on that, but thank you for that. I appreciate that. I wanted to make sure we got that. All right, let me grab, if I could, a couple more here over from Rumble. Mr. Just Because says, if government or the people within it were actually surrounded by transparent truth, most would trust them again. You are so correct. I have said this so many times. The way that we can gain trust in our institutions, period, whether that's our colleges, our government, any institutions, right? Schools, even press, media, anything, is through aggressive, insane, absolutely transparency for years. If you just started, we still wouldn't trust them. But if we were able to be that transparent and see everything, the good and the bad, for years, we could start trusting again. You are 100% true. Right. That's exactly right. So, yes. Joel says, Mark Levin says Schumer has I don't want to get canceled. JEWED'd himself. Mark Levin? Maybe. Mr. Justin McCulls goes on for $5 and says, I'm going to make an AOC OF account done by AI. I'm projecting millions in revenue into 6 months. Yes, before you get sued. Yes. Yes. I love it. Alfredo, thank you for the $10. Where did AOC and Crockett get their money? I'm sure they loaned the money to save America. How noble. The problem we have with AOC and Crockett's cash is that most people get confused between their personal cash and their cash they have in their accounts, their campaign accounts. Now, legally, do they own that money? Yes. So could you say they have the money? Technically, yes. However, they can't just spend it on anything. Can they buy themselves jobs? Yes, and they often do. Now, so say, for example, you have $4 million in your account. I don't know how much she has, but I'm making that number up. Sake of argument, she has $4 million in her account. Can you technically say she has $4 million? Technically, yes, but it is, to be forward, it's unfair to say that because she can't just spend it. Now, could she say, hey, Alpha Dork, do me a favor. I need you to start a think tank. And you go, what? I want you to start a think tank talking about how, I don't know, medical care in New York is a thing. And you go, I don't have any money. Don't worry, I'm going to give you $4 million. Oh, really? Yeah, I'll put $4 million into your think tank. And I want you to hire me as executive director of investor relations or whatever title you want to give me. I don't care what it is. And I want you to pay me, I don't know, how about $250,000 a year for the next 10 years? And you go, okay, done. So she bought herself a job. And that's legal. Happens all the time. So could she do it? Yes. But is it really her money now? It isn't. Could it become her money? In theory, over time. So we do get confused in those two things. I know there was some nuance there, but I just want you to realize while you could legally, or technically, I'm saying technically you could. Yeah. Anyway, let me keep going here if I could.
For the CR bill to pass, Republicans will need 60 votes in the Senate, which means they need Democrats. The House passed the 6-month funding bill earlier this week, mostly on party lines.
Other Democrats piled on Schumer, with Congresswoman Bonnie Watson-Coleman writing on X, respectfully, Senator Schumer, no. This Republican bill is bad for workers, bad for our veterans, bad for our seniors. Republicans should pull it and let us get back to work crafting a budget that works for all of our families.
Now, while I love the sentiment in that, I do. And I know, as I tell you very often, Democrats have better rhetoric than Republicans. It often sounds nicer. And this does sound nice. It does. Right? Right? We care about families and crafting for workers and veterans. It sounds amazing. You didn't do that last year? Or the year before that? Or the year before that? Or the year before that? Now, this year, you're going to do it right. Right. Those other years that I was there, that we screwed up and just threw money away and made sure our veterans weren't taken care of and screwed our workers over. That was before. But now the orange man is in charge. So now I'm going to have magic powers and make it all good. So this sounds great. I love the sound of it. Sounds very nice. She cares about veterans. See that? She cares about seniors. She cares. Where you been, Representative Bonnie Watson Coleman, for all these years? How come you didn't set it up before? The last couple of years? Oh, yeah. You forgot about it then? Now you got it, though. But now you got it. Okay. I guess now she's good. I feel good. I hope you do. All right. There's one other thing I want to let me pull one more piece out of this, which I like out of this one, and then I'll stop with this one after that. But there is one more I want to pop up if I could. It goes a little bit longer. And the funniest part is
Biden advisor Susan Rice also piled on.
Susan Rice, she's there.
Every Senate Dem should vote no on cloture and no on the CR. No self-respecting Democratic lawmaker who takes his or her responsibility to their constituents and the Constitution seriously can vote for this despicable Trump must power grab CR.
See that? You can't do that. What happened to the last? Oh yeah, we forgot last year. The year before that, I forgot about that.
What? I don't think we can say that, but you'll know what the acronym stands for. WTF, Senator Schumer, please grow a spine and quickly.
And Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett wrote, "It is."
But here's all the things I want you to recognize. None of them are senators.
Clear that some of us understand the present danger and some don't. I stand by the no vote on the blank check for Trump and Elon. I've got no explanation or agreement with Senate Dems being complicit in Trump's tyranny.
And while Jasmine, boy, does she have some issues. But again, this is my earlier point. They need a fighter. The woman does not mind fighting. That's all I'll say.
Meanwhile, President Trump wrote in part on Truth Social.
What a troll Trump is. What a troll. And it works every time.
Congratulations to Chuck Schumer for doing the right thing. Took guts and courage. The big tax cuts, LA fire fix, debt ceiling bill,
look at this,
and so much more is coming. We should all work together on that very dangerous situation.
Not mischievous at all by the president there, praising.
Yeah. So, yeah, thought that would be an interesting one, too. I have one more, but that's later. But this whole piece I wanted to bring up is, the spending itself, though, is no change. There's no change. That's the problem. They didn't take the Doge stuff that was supposed to happen and then make it a change. We didn't reduce spending, right? Ryan says it. We're going to reduce spending by spending more money. Yes, that's how you do it, Ryan. See, you don't know how it works. If you want to cut spending, what you do is you increase defense spending by $6 billion. This is your problem, Ryan. You don't understand how the government works. If you want to cut spending, you increase spending by $6 billion. That's how it works. God, just give up the program. Oh, God. All right, let me just keep going here if I can. All righty. Let's see if I can grab some of this. Silver Charm over on Rumble says, USAID money laundering on a scale of nations. Congress got it. I think Congress always gets its money. Like Congress, yeah, that's why they do what they do, because they always get their money. So, yes. Kim, thank you for being a member. She says, government shuts down, cash stops flowing. The problem, what happens is, remember, so many of the people are getting somehow kickbacks or money from the government, right? Remember, $3 trillion comes out of the government and goes back to the states in some form. A lot of that money goes in the pockets of corporations, nonprofits, as subsidies, right? Elon Musk is one of the best at getting subsidies. I mean, look, I am happy that a Doge exists. I hope it does some good. So far, We don't know, but I hope it does some good. I'm not against a Doge. I love the concept completely. Let's see if it actually works. Love the concept. But he's absolutely a grifter. There's no doubt. I'm not even mad at him for it. It's just he's playing the game better than anyone else plays the damn game. So there's a whole lot of grifting going on. Well, what grifters do is they give the money back, right? So I make whatever. Because of government subsidies or government rules or laws or tax, whatever it is, tax avoidance, not evasion, tax avoidance. Because of that, maybe I make, I don't know, I make $100 million. So what I do with $100 million, I take $1 million of that and I divvy it up among senators. I divvy it up among congresspeople. I'm not joking. That literally happens. So as I make my money from government subsidies or government rules or regulations or relaxing thereof, whatever, or what they make me a monopoly or make me an oligarchy, an oligopoly, whatever. They make me one of those, right? They somehow set me up or they allow me to have corporate capture, whatever's the way that I do it. Well, I'm making a bunch of money. Well, I'm going to kick back to you through donations, either through a PAC or directly if it's legal, or through some PAC or some bundler or something like that. Well, if all of a sudden you start passing some bills where I'm not getting paid, well, Kim, I'm not getting my $100 million anymore. Well, if I'm not getting my cut, you're not getting your cut. You want to get your cut? I gotta get my cut. I'm not paying you because I like you. I mean, I like you, Kim, but I'm saying that's not why I'm paying you. I'm paying you because I got paid. We're all getting a cut, right? This is the mob. I keep saying that. This is the mob. We think it's something else. It's the mob. So that's how that works. So anyway, I'll grab some of these. All right, the AC, thank you for the being a member. Kirsten Gillibrand, the other senator from New York, is also voting in mind with what the donors want. Yeah, some small activists are starting fundraising for AOC to primary Chuck Schumer. Yep, there we go. Yep, I'm sure they'll start. There's going to be an attack in some way, shape, or form. There is going to be an attack, an attempt, not attack. I'm sorry, I shouldn't say attack. I don't get in trouble. An attempt to somehow displace Chuck Schumer in the coming weeks, months. You will see that there will be an attempt. I don't know if it will work or not. Dave says, Larry, both parties took polls before a possible shutdown. Both parties probably found out that a shutdown would not benefit anyone. Correct? Dave, I'm sure that's right. Yes. I'm sure that's right. Yes. Yeah. Mike Voss says, sorry, Ryan, it's AOC versus Christian Miller. Yes. Yeah. Maybe that one, but not against Schumer. Yeah. Would she fight against Schumer? Maybe, for leadership at one point, if the coup fails and Chuck Schumer stays in power and AOC wins the seat, would she fight him for that? Yeah, I think she would. And I got to tell you, if she does well enough, he's beatable. She could beat him. People know her. She's very popular. Popularity matters. So yes, it's possible. Not going to be easy at all. Schumer is no schlub. He's no schlub at all. So, all righty. Rhetoric asks, Larry, please make daylight savings go away. I would do so if I could. Also, why is Massey getting more flack than Ryan Paul for voting no in a CR? Because Massey has been anti-Trump a whole lot more than Rand Paul. Rand Paul has been principled many times, but has also been on the Trump train many more times. Massey tends to not be on the Trump train much at all. Massey's very much, here's how they kind of work. Rand says, I'm going to be on the Trump train unless Trump does something crazy that is too far for me. That's kind of how Rand is. I'm on a Trump train. If he does something too far, then I'll say no, and this is too far. Massey's the opposite. Massey's like, I'm not on a Trump train. But if there's something good, I'll say yes. That's the reason why. That's how they are. Rand is generally a Trumpster, generally. But when he goes too far, he goes, no. Massey's generally not a Trumpster, but when it's something that he agrees with, he goes, yes. That's why he's getting more flack. I hope that was clear. If that makes any sense. So I think that's, yeah. Pete, thank you, says, the CR is a copy, paste of Biden's last 15 months of spending. Speaker Johnson's a sellout. Trump's got no balls. Greg Thomas Massey was a huge mistake. We'll see how long this lasts, because you're right, though, Pete, in many ways. Johnson's not a sellout as much as what I told you earlier. Johnson is like the perfect mix in many ways. What I mean by that, not for me, obviously, but for Trump. Johnson is establishment enough, but loyal enough to Trump. That's why Trump wanted him. And why the establishment was like, we'll take him. Because see what he's doing now. What he's doing now, he's like, right, Pete, he's doing establishment stuff right now, right? So he's establishment enough, but still loyal to Trump enough. That's why they thought that was correct. That makes any sense. So sellout makes me think that at one point he wasn't who he was. He's kind of been this guy. Like, I talked about this in November, right? Him being who he was. That's why it's in November. I don't think it's necessarily South. I think it's kind of who he is. It's kind of who he is. I think Trump going after Thomas Massie publicly was a mistake. And I'll tell you why. Because it made a lot of people in the other movements get a bit worried. Because libertarians, even a huge chunk of libertarians in November voted for Trump. You know that, Pete. A huge chunk did. You probably know some that did. I know some that did also. Lots of libertarians, a huge chunk. I would bet hundreds of thousands voted for Trump, thinking he's going to give us more and be better. Hundreds of thousands of them did. And now they're like, whoa. And some of them were like openly on Twitter, openly on Facebook going, he's the greatest guy. He's more libertarian, blah, blah, blah. Now they're like, whoa. You can't mess with Massie, right? If you put Trump against random libertarian candidate, whoever that candidate is, or Harris or Biden, main libertarians are going to vote for Trump. That's true. You put Trump against Massie, the vast majority of libertarians go, no. I stand with Massie. I'm not standing with Trump with that. That matchup, most libertarians go, I'm going Massie, right? And when that happens, that shows a crack. Now the other Doge people and the Bitcoin people and the crypto people go, wait a minute. Will he do that to our guy? And the Maha people go, wait a minute. Will he do that to our people? Wait a minute. Tulsi people, wait a minute. And Tulsi had to change her pick, didn't she, just recently? So now I'm like, wait a minute. Will he go against Tulsi? So yes, I think it was a bad move for many reasons. And again, publicly, if he wanted to behind the scenes somehow get mad at Massie and try to strong arm him or something, whatever, that happens all the time. But publicly, calling to primary him was clearly not thought through. Bet if you think Massie's going to lose his seat, that's a bad bet. I don't care if Trump shows up in his district. Trump could show up in his district. Massie will still win a seat. He'll still win a seat. That's a terrible bet. I agree with you completely. I totally agree with you. Yes. All righty. Before we go any further, there's something I do want to ask. Guys, if you haven't already, click the button known as Lima India Kilo Echo. I'm giving you good stuff. I think you're enjoying it. Please do so. Also, by the way, tomorrow I will have an AMA at 7 p.m. So we'll have an AMA. Not sure what's going to be, what the start topic will be yet, but we'll have one tomorrow at 7 p.m. So ask any question you want tomorrow. I'll answer them. But for this one, please do me a favor. Share and repost it now. Put it into YouTube, put it into Facebook, whatever the case may be. Please follow me on X, on Rumble, YouTube, all those if you can. If you want to, you can super chat me. Some super chats popping up, some rants pop up. Put those if you would. As you put those in, you better chance that I'll actually put them on a Sharpe Way short. That'd be nice if you can do that. If you want to, please make sure that you become a member. Click that join button, $49 per month. Gets the dollars going, so I can spend more time doing this and less time working, which, boy, yesterday I was on 4 times. I was on a show at 10, 3, 7, and 10 again. So, yeah, that was kind of crazy. But I spent time doing that. I can't work. So I got to pay bills too. So if you can help out, this is the best way of doing it. I appreciate it tremendously. But either way, no matter what, free, click the button known as like. And if you don't click the button known as like, you like wasteful government spending. If you didn't click that button, you like wasteful government spending. What kind of person are you? Stop that. Yes. Felicia says, hell no, AOC is too stupid to be untouchable. The reason why I say she's untouchable is not because of intellect. That isn't the issue. She's popular and she has charisma relative to the people around her. Both those cases, she's more popular and has more charisma than those around her. And Felicia, you don't have to be the best in the world. You have to be the best compared to your peer group. And she is, right? And she is. So, yeah. And I'm moving forward. She's the worst of the worst. She's not. She's the best of the worst. Just being forward. She's the best of the worst. So yeah. And then while Liberty says she'll make a deal when Schumer wants to retire or is forced to. I'm not sure about that. I don't know how long Schumer likes doing what he's doing. I'm not sure when he's going to go. She may not want to wait. She may not want to wait. So Jamie goes on to say it. She has zero chance taking Schumer's seat. He's embedded into the union mobs. That's true, which is why I'm saying he's no schlub. He's no schlub. This is not an easy thing to do. And I'm not even sure she's going to do it. Remember what I said? I didn't say she was going to coup him. That's not what I said. What I said, she is starting to gin up the grassroots. And then they might pick somebody else in the Senate who's going to be the one who coups him or takes over or what the case may be. So yeah, it may be that new, what's that new senator? That senator from Michigan or whatever? Maybe her. Oh no, she's a congressman, isn't she? Yes, she's a congressman. Anyway, I mean, maybe someone else is going to do it. Who knows? Right? Maybe that person takes over from Jeffries. Because even AC says Jeffries sucks. True. Yes. Mike's on your side, Jamie. He says they've been trying to drop Schumer for a decade. AOC won't be able to do it. Agreed. He is too popular, connected, like by donors. Agreed on all those things. I think he is trying. They're using her to see if they can gin up enough grassroots or not. That's why I said it's an attempt. I'm not saying it's going to work. I'm saying it's an attempt. That's the issue. Ryan, thank you for $2. We stand with Thomas Massey. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. I have been very, as you know, I have been very hesitant at times to trust Trump, and I worry that he would change his mind because he can be very fickle. Yeah, that is my concern. Yes, that is my concern. So Dave says, Schumer challenges, none. At the moment, that's my point. This is the grassroots, starting it right now, seeing if that was going to happen. I'm not sure. Whether that's going to work or not, but yeah, I can see it. Joel says, Joe Pinion ran against Schumer his last election. He came much closer than anyone admits. If the NY GOP actually supported any candidate, they get wins here. 100% no, Joel. I wish you were right. Nope. No. The reason why Joe Pinion got anywhere near close is because Democrats didn't think they had to vote for Schumer, so they didn't bother showing up. He didn't bother doing anything. He didn't campaign. He did nothing. He showed up in Brooklyn like twice. And Joe Pinion actually had cash because of Lee Zeldin. So the Republicans actually had some cash. So they did something. And Joe Pinion was on TV Live, on Fox News and stuff. Now he's on CNN, I think. So yeah, Joe Pinion knew he wasn't going to win. He ran so he could get a CNN spot. And now he's a commentator. Every Republican in New York runs so they can get something else. That's why they run, right? Lee Zeldin ran so he could become EPA chief. Joe Pinion ran so he could become like a CNN correspondent or maybe get a Newsmax show or something. That's why I do it. So no, there's no chance. And why I don't mean to be mean, but the reality of it is, it's 3-1 almost Democrats, Republican. 3-1. And Orange Man Bad still works in New York State. No shot. 0 shot. Yes. No shot at all. So, yeah. Felicia says, I'm going to run as a Democrat now if AOC and Jasmine Ghetto Crockett can be House Representative, so can I. True. All you have to do now, Felicia, is two things. One, try not to talk intelligently at all. Go out of your way to not, if like you see some smart thoughts come into your head, get rid of them, like immediately. So, ooh, that made sense. Don't say that, right? So that's number one. Number two, any like morals that you have, squash those guys. Get them deep down. Like squash them, right? So squash those morals as low as you can possibly squash them, right? Do that. And then anytime like competent and smart thoughts come in your head, do not say them. Just stop. Just the second you go, oh, this will make sense, go, don't say it. Say nothing or think of something dumb and go, wow, did I think of that? It makes no sense. Ooh, say that. Just say that. The first thing to tip of your tongue that makes no sense, just word vomit that out. Push your morals down. You are in. So in. So in. Yes. I mean, that'd be challenging if you do those two things, Felicia. I'm just saying. From what I know of you, that's going to be challenging. But you went away. I just gave you away. I did just give you away is all I'm saying. That's your way of doing it. So, yes. Let me grab one more piece of this, which I think is kind of funny. This is just like funny. I think you might enjoy this one. This one's funny. When I saw this, I was like, okay, this is cute. And it is a guy who usually is funny. So that's why it should be good.
Well, first I want to thank Senator Schumer. I say this gently.
Gently.
Chuck never makes the same mistake twice. Generally, he makes it 5 or 6 times just to make sure he got it right.
Republicans.
I thought you would enjoy that
having
one.
some fun there with Democratic Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer today after he pledged to cross the aisle and vote for their spending plan. The move reduces the chances of a government shutdown that was set to go into effect at midnight tonight, but it's a major reversal from Schumer's position just a few days ago, and it's sparking outrage within the Democratic Party.
Is it really, though? I mean, is it really? I mean, I guess, but not really. I thought you guys might enjoy that piece. I thought that was kind of fun. I did enjoy that piece. So, yes. Ryan says, Felicia Crockett ain't ghetto. She's lying to everyone about that. Her dad was a preacher in the suburbs of St. Louis. Oh, is that right? Okay. That makes sense. Maybe that's why she's not ashamed. God, some of you don't know this. I came out of the ghetto. Yes, I came out of the ghetto. I grew up in the South Bronx by Yankee Stadium in the 70s. So I came out of the ghetto. I understand what it is to me. We used to call it ghetto. Now they call it the hood. But when I was young, it was called the ghetto, right? So I was teasing one day talking about using the N-word. Yes, that N-word. I grew up on that. I don't use it now. Well, I do sometimes. But I don't use it now publicly. How about that? I don't use it now publicly. But yes, I grew up on that. I grew up talking very similar to the act that Crockett has. So I try not to go down that route, particularly publicly. That's all I'm saying. So, yeah. Anyway, okay. Felicia says, probably can't lie, made me laugh. That I hope I made you laugh, Felicia. I hope that, yes. But I was still kind of telling the truth. It was funny, but it's kind of true. It was kind of true on top of it. So it was all of those. How about that? It was all of those. Yes. Shan says, Andrea run for Congress and win. I like that. Yes. Mike in the house says, leadership PACs are the way Dems clean corporate money, so public thinks they don't take special interest money. It's a secret public is never told and all campaigns use. Yeah, but not just Dems. But yes, that's true. You find more Democrats than Republicans using it because more Democrats need to pretend they're not corrupt compared to Republicans because more Republicans are more open about taking PAC money. That's true. But both use it. But yes, Dems have to try to act differently. So yes, I think that's true. Andrea says, I want to know how to do tax avoidance. My accountant told me something. He had passed away since. But my old accountant said, there's a big difference between tax evasion and tax avoidance. He said, tax evasion is illegal and you should not do that. He said, tax avoidance is your responsibility as a good American. And you want to know how to do tax avoidance? You got to be able to hire accountants who do that. That's an issue. I go out of my way to legally avoid tax. I go out of my way to legally, YouTube, legally avoid, not evade tax. Yes, I try my best to do so. And I think that's fine. If the system's going to be broken, then it's broken. Fix the system. I'm the one who's saying we should have a simpler system. So there's no such thing as tax avoidance. It's flat fee, that's that, but boom, and then eventually cut it out and get rid of it completely. Yes. Roy, how are you, sir? Roy says, they think they are cutting spending, but not paying fired workers, as if taking away folks' job is balancing anything. Well, not just that. If you're going to shut it down and then have to rehire them or pay them anyway, right? I mean, the advantage to the advantage to something like that would be if you were actually cutting out all the things around it and the money that goes out and all those things. If getting rid of the people was part of the bigger plan, I could see it working. If getting rid of the people is the plan, that's not a good plan, right? I think that's what you're saying, Roy. If I'm getting you right, getting rid of the people to get rid of the people is not a good plan. It's got to be, I'm really changing how we spend the money. I'm changing how effective we are, all those things. And in doing that, I have to fire people. Oh, okay, that makes sense. But this is just like, see, we're saving money by firing people. Ryan goes on and says, Larry, I love how you can keep a straight face there. Well, because it was kind of true. So, yeah. So let me see if I can grab some of these over here and some of the other places if I could. Let me get here. This is over from Instagram. Hatley, I think, says, Doge hasn't helped the national debt crisis at all. Schumer has always followed the money. Both of those are true. I love the idea of Doge tremendously. And I'm very forward. I'm a libertarian, obviously, I wear it on my sleeve. I love the idea of Doge. It has not been as good as I'd hoped it would be. It has not been as effective as I'd hoped it would be. I did not have huge expectation. I remember he came in saying $2 trillion. I was like, give me $500 billion, I'd be happy, right? Give me $500 billion, I'd be happy. So far, I got, nothing is what I got so far. Nothing. I'd like to get my $500 billion, please, Doge. I would like that, right? If you can give it $500 billion, that'd be nice. So far, I got pissed off people, and that's about it. That's what I got so far. I got pissed off people so far. Not jumping them down about that. That's not great for me. I wish we had more than that. So I love the idea of it. I do. It hasn't worked the way I want it to work. I hope it can, right? I still have some hope. I want it to work. I hope it will work. We'll see if it works. So there we go. All right. That was from Instagram. Let me see if I can grab a couple of that. Looks like, it does look like Rumble is rocking. Mr. Just Because says, off topic, but I think about $10. He goes, the EPA to deregulate all diesel exhaust emission standards. Okay. Okay. What a scam that was. Don't you know the most emissions from a vehicle over its life is from the brakes? Oh yeah, right. Yes, I did actually hear that before. I didn't know if it was actually true, but I heard that story before. Interesting. No, the issue with this is everything we've been doing right now to fight climate change or greenhouse gases and such, the only thing it's done so far is make the average American's life harder. We haven't had the great things supposed to have, and it's been crushing. How do I know that? The state, out of all the states, with the least carbon emissions per capita, New York State. Yes, the lowest of all the states, New York State. And people are leaving my state in droves. We not only do we have the least emissions, we spend the most on education. We have some of the worst outcomes. And here's the best part. We have the lowest. This is how going green works in a state. You might go, Larry, we have to go green because it brings in jobs and blah, blah. So I will tell you, well, my state has the lowest emissions in the entire country. We have the highest outflow of people. We brought in 200,000 migrants last year and still lost 100,000 people. Let me tell you that again. We brought in 200,000 migrants last year, and we still lost 100,000 people. That's 300,000 people leaving, in case your math wasn't good there. I did that math for you because I care. So yes, not just that. What state has the worst wealth gap in the entire union? You guessed it, New York State. What state is the least free, ranked by Cato, I think 6 years now in a row? You guessed it, New York State. What state has the lowest literacy rate in the entire nation? You guessed it, New York State. Yes. So we have focused all this stuff on this green this and green that and green this. What has it done? Destroyed us. Now, am I saying it's directly related? No, but the idea is the same. You don't focus on your people. You focus on numbers. You don't focus on your people. And what do you get? Better numbers and unhappy people. So yes, you are correct with that one. So I do appreciate that. See if I can grab a couple more of these if I walk down this road. All righty. Wow. These. Okay. Alpha Dog says, Dems have been outed as the Maoist warmongers they are. Need to have economy bound to the government, not private enterprise. Need to have economy bound to government, not private. I'm not sure where you're going with that one, but I get the point of being outed as Maoist. I'm not sure they're Maoist. That's a little. I can't go that far. Yeah, that's a little far from me on that one. Warmonger, yes, 100%. Maoist, I think, goes a little bit too far, in my view. I think most of these Democrats are just establishment. I mean, there might be some Maoists, and there might be some, right? But the vast majority are not. So I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think so. Silver Charm says, New York Dems, Hochul AOC, talking idiotic. Luckily, commies are never very bright, but damn nasty. Some commies are very bright, my friend. Some of them are. They're just not in charge. So, yes, some of them are, though. Just saying. Some of them are. Trying to give credit where credit is due. So, yeah. All right. Let me grab some more of these if I can. Dave says, the only way Mass loses his seat is if he's photographed getting caught with, yes. No, the phrase is an unalive, because I'm on YouTube, young woman, I don't want to say the word, or a live young gentleman. Correct. That's the saying, right? It's girl or boy. But yeah, that's kind of correct. Yes. Joel says, Jasmine Crockett does not ask me anything. Nicely done. Nicely done. I like that. Nicely done. Yes. Andrea says, Massey's absolutely loved by his constituents. Correct. Yes. He's going nowhere. Yeah, he's going nowhere. Literally Liddy says, yep, I've seen the polls on Twitter. Massey versus Trump. You only pick one. Any guesses who's leading those? Massey, 100%. This is a battle. He doesn't know any better, right? He just fights. It's what he does. It is natural for him to fight. So he fights. When people hit him, he fights back. That's what he does. That's what he does. He doesn't think twice. That's what he does. This one, he should have just left alone. He should have either talked to him quietly or said nothing and walked away. Massey's not going to change. She's not. Even, and be very forward, lady, you know this. I know Massey personally. If he actually were going to lose his seat, then he would just lose his seat. I'm not making that up. If any of you happen to know Massey, if he was going to lose, if it happened, if all of a sudden Trump had the magic powers, goes on keto because keto's magic. He goes on keto, gets magic powers, and he's going to get rid of Massey. If that were going to happen, he would just lose his seat. Just do it. Yes, he would just do it. Dave says, Larry, we're going to almost double the national debt over an 8-year period yet again. Yeah. Look, I was on a podcast last night, and there was a guy on there who's a libertarian who was talking about how Trump was so bad, and he actually said that he's worse than Harris for us. And it's his podcast. I didn't get mad at him, whatever. Not true. Trump is better for us than Harris. But Trump's not libertarian. He's not. It's not I mean, does he do some things better than Harris does libertarian? Yes. Yes, he does. It's true. The whole concept of Doge would have never happened under Harris. The whole concept of that would never happen, right? We wouldn't have freed Ross Ulbricht. It would have never happened under Harris, right? So did we get something? Yeah, he's better. But he's not libertarian. And I know some people are like, no, Trump's libertarian. He's not. Dave, and you know this. I'm preaching to the choir for you. But there's some people who think Trump's libertarian. He's not. Trump is Trump. He's an anomaly. Can he be libertarian? Yes. Of course he can. He is transactional. Of course he can be libertarian. That's another good thing he could be. Harris could never be libertarian. She could never be that. Could Trump be? Sure. He is transactional. He could be libertarian. That's why he freed Ross. It was a transaction for him. He doesn't care about Ross. He doesn't care. He was like, we made a deal. You did what you did. I'm going to do what I did. He's transactional. So he could be for any given thing. Yes. But is he? No, he's not. He's not. So All righty. Let me grab some more of these. You guys give me a whole bunch of these. Brett Boyle's here. How are you? Appreciate that. You can get me canceled with that damn line there. Appreciate that. So, yes. Minor Threat says, she's a joke, but that's among a whole panoply of clowns. You see, you've got to recognize, people don't have to. You should. How about that better way? You should recognize that that people are looking within their world for what they think is best, right? And the example I'll give you is look at the Green Party and Libertarian Party. We didn't do what neither party did very well last year. You might go, well, because they had bad candidates. Yeah, but people were looking at what they had, right? Now, clearly, I had a better candidate. Libertarians, I'm blatantly biased. Mike, I'm not going to get triggered. Just saying, we know I had one. But who did the Greens have? The Greens struggled. Jill Stein was probably the best they could have gotten. So you take the best that you can get. So if that's who you got, you fight with who you have, right? That's who you have. This is my squad. Take the hill. I don't get extra guys. This is what I got. That's who I'm fighting with. So I pick the best I can with the best ideas, and I do it to the best of my ability. That's it. So yes. Felicia goes on to say, John Kennedy's voice makes him sound dumb, but he's the context of what he says is so smart. Kennedy is by no means dumb. You're right. What makes him good is he pretends to be dumb. Kennedy is not dumb. That man is not dumb, but he does pretend. So yes. Dave says, Larry, Fort Apache, the movie, yes, but that's further north than where I am, where I grew up. That's Fort Apache's further north, but yes. In fact, there's another famous where I was, literally where I lived, a famous movie of the 70s was actually filmed there. If any of you are old enough, remember the movie Serpico, which is based on a true story of a New York City cop who tried to stop so much of the corruption that was in the New York City police force. Parts of it were filmed literally in my neighborhood. So yeah, if any of you have seen that movie, and again, it was based on truth. I don't know how true the actual movie was. I don't know, but it was based on something true. So yes. All righty. Joel says, my dad said, if you aren't getting audited, you are paying too much tax. Well, yes and no. The right accountants know how to avoid what they call the red flags. Right? They go, oh, don't go this high on this. Don't go that low on that. They know the red flags. And I assume now, I don't know for sure, that some of the red flags are being done by AI now, I would assume. I don't know that to be true. That's my assumption. So yeah, absolutely. Yes. That is my hope. Mike says, Trump's actions seem to be long-term in result. Most are focused on short-term, as is the norm. Here is my issue, and I mentioned this last night. I forgot which show I mentioned it on. I've been talking about it for a bit. This is my problem right now with Trump. And I have compared him to Milei in this style. What Milei did very well in Argentina is he was very clear in his communication and what people were to expect. He was very open. He was like, I'm cutting everything. There's going to be pain, but there's light at the end of the tunnel. You got to believe in me. Here is my theory on how I want to grow things. Here is what I believe. Here are my principles. He was insanely open and transparent about it. Now, people voted for him, and he went through pain. Last year for Argentina, there was a lot of pain. There's no doubt. There was a lot of people suffered, but they stood by him. They stood by him. He's still popular now, right? Even that crypto thing he did. He did that stupid crypto thing he did. He's still popular even with the dumb crypto thing. He's still popular. Why? Because things are getting better. He told them what to expect. While he communicated wildly, he still communicated effectively. Trump isn't doing that. Trump is allowing others to communicate about this, and he's focusing on like other big picture stuff, which I understand why. I'm not saying he's wrong in his action. I'm saying he's failing to communicate as clearly as he can. I agree with what you're saying. I think that he is trying to do something that's gonna that he's gonna end the 4 years on a high that no one's ever ended on. I think he honestly believes that. I think he honestly wants that. I believe that he thinks his policies will do that. He's not communicating that well at all to the average person. He's not. He's allowing others to, like the other Secretary Treasury guy he's got. That guy's failing miserably. He's not doing a good job. He's giving someone else a chance. He's like, a recession's worth it. That's not the way you say it. Call up Malay and get a translator and have that guy tell you what to say. So he's not doing a good job of that at all. And his surrogates are also failing. His surrogates are failing, right? And Mike, you know how important surrogates are. His are not doing a good job. Fox News is not doing a good job either. They're not doing a good job of that piece. They're not. And they need to be doing it better, because I do think that's what he wants and expects. It's not coming across. Now, again, he still has some time, right? He does. He's on a high right now. He's got some time. But what's going to happen 3 to 6 months from now? You don't communicate that well? He said golden age during his speech, which I said he would say and he should say. Have you heard that again? Maybe you have. I haven't. And I watch this stuff. I haven't heard it. Where's golden age? Where's this? He's not communicating well. He's talking about, peace with Russia. Important. I'm, again, not saying he shouldn't be focusing on these things. I'm agreeing with you on that. He should be focusing on these things. But communication, critical. Communicate. Got to do it. Not doing a good job of it. That's the issue. Gene says, whenever the government does it, it's always disappointing. True. That's an accurate statement. That is true. Yes. Felicia says, what I do not understand about Democrats is that they want to sit on their high moral horse on helping people, but they have the most sketchy morals. Well, the issue here is, Felicia, you're assuming they actually want to help people. That's the problem. They don't. They want to sound like they're helping people while grifting. And they're actually very good at that. I don't mean to be mean, but they're actually very good at that. They're good at sounding like they're helping people while grifting. As I say often, Democratic rhetoric is very often better than Republican rhetoric. It often is. Not always, but it often is. It sounds nice. It sounds like I care. It sounds great. Yes. IC says, Doge tricking the workforce isn't about money. Is that the people who work in government will create new rules, processes, paperwork, and bureaucracy that justifies their own existence. Time equals time and money. Okay. But then then doesn't someone have to be around to end the bureaucracy or to change the rules? Maybe. Again, if that's true, I don't hear that, right? Maybe you're right. Maybe that's the plan, right? And Roy's not hearing it, obviously, and I'm not either. If that's true, he's communicating poorly. I'm not sure that's true, so I can't tell you. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't see this is what I'm saying. I don't see it. Yeah. So that liberal lady says, did you guys see that Queen Hochul is going to see Trump? He said, she's a really nice person. They'll be talking congestion pricing. That'll be my Tuesday show. My Tuesday show, which my radio show, my New York State radio show will clearly be about that. So, yes. Shan says, the 300K people leaving probably helped the environment. Not a bad, yeah, maybe right. Probably did. It probably did. I don't doubt that. I don't doubt that at all. Yes. All right, let me grab some more of these if I can. Legacy Zach says, I want Mass to become governor of Kentucky. I'm not sure if he can do it. I'm not sure if he's that popular across the state, to be fair with you. I don't know if he is. Maybe. Kentucky is an odd state, so I'm not sure if he could do it. But yeah, look, the advantage of Mass becoming governor of Kentucky, and I agree with you, it would be great. The advantage of him doing this, he could actually make changes Malay style at a state level, and people could see it. So yeah, I do think that'd be great if he could. That would be amazing if that could be done. I agree with you. I don't know if it could be done. So yes. Gene says, to your point, Jill Stein is brilliant. She is. You're right. Yes. Jill Stein is as left as they go, basically. And she's brilliant. Correct. Both true. The problem is she's not. Jill Stein is much more of an activist type person than she is a campaigner and candidate, being very forward. She's better doing the other thing. So yes. Ryan, thank you so much, Ryan, for being a member. Ryan says, Michael Knowles said that us libertarians are soft communists. I laughed my off at his theory. If he had a clue on what he was talking about, I might have been upset. No, Michael Knowles has no idea what libertarians are. Michael Knowles, he thinks that Ben Shapiro's libertarian. I wish I was joking. I'm not. He actually thinks that Ben Shapiro's libertarian. And by the way, Ben Shapiro is not a libertarian. He's not. He's a conservative. And that's fine. I'm not mad at him for being a conservative. That's who he is. But the problem is, too many this hurts libertarians like there's no tomorrow. Too many Republicans, when they get mad at the establishment Republican, go, I'm not really Republican, I'm kind of libertarian. They do that all the time. And I'm like, no, you are not that. You might have some libertarian views. And to be forward, many Republicans have some libertarian views. That's true. Doesn't make them libertarians. It means they are Republicans who have some libertarian views. And when they do that, I go, yay, good. Thank you. You also find some Democrats who have some libertarian views. And when they start, I go, yay, awesome. Thank you. Please do that. Yeah. So in response to Gene, Silver Charm over on Rumble says, Stein is not relatable. Yeah, you're right. Stein is very relatable to a very elite left group of people, right? Elite leftists love Jill Stein. But the problem is that's a very small percentage of the electorate. I mean, 1%. I mean, it's a 2%, maybe. It's a very small part of the electorate. But that small sliver kind of gets her. They speak the same language. They have the same concepts. It's just such a tiny sliver of the electorate. That's the problem. Otherwise, you're right. She's not relatable. But people like her. I've met her before. I like her. She's nice, right? I like her. Silver Charm goes on to say, as a libertarian, I have to be independent, as the official candidate was a joke and a faux pas. Well, look, I'll be very forward. And I've said this publicly. I didn't say anything about Chase Oliver when he was running, because I am still libertarian. I'm not trying to harm the party. That isn't my goal. So when he was running, I just said nothing. I said nothing, right? I followed the old thing. If you can't say something good, don't say anything at all. I kept my mouth shut. You didn't see me talk about him. I said nothing. I didn't say he was a bad candidate. Nothing. To be forward, he's actually not a bad candidate. And people say all the time, and you're wrong. He's not a bad candidate. He has a great work ethic. He wants to get out there. He's a solid libertarian. Maybe he's not your type of libertarian. It's fine, but he's still a solid libertarian. His stuff's based on liberty. It's based on that. There's other issues, obviously, but he's based on that. Solid libertarian. The problem is his plan was garbage. That's a fact. And I said it in May. I said it before May. His plan was garbage. It was never going to work, particularly in this year. It was never going to work. It was a disaster, which would make him look terrible and make him fail horribly. And he was destined to fail. There was no way he could be successful at all. It was no way. And I warned them. And the Libertarian Party, I'm not going to get triggered, Mike. The Libertarian Party did not listen to me. They ignored me. And that's what they got. So, yeah. Have a better plan. Have a better team. Get better results. And I gave them all of that. And Libertarian Party said, we want a virtue signal because we care about the CLC versus the Mises Caucus stuff, which no one cares about outside of us at all. Half of the people listening don't even know what I'm talking about. And you listen to me, a libertarian, and you don't know what I'm talking about. That is how useless that battle was. Anyway, I'm done. I'm going to keep moving on. Michelle says, hey, give Harris a break. She's great at being VP and doing nothing than asking for a higher seat. Also great at giggling. True. Great at giggling and great at asking for stuff for doing nothing. True. Yes. True. Correct. Yeah. Silvercharm was going to say politics is the plan. What else is there? Accurate, Silvercharm. That's why it didn't work. It's true. Accurate. Absolutely. So that Liberty Lady says, I heard the former chair of a state affiliate say Trump is the most libertarian president we've ever had. I don't think that's accurate. But looking at recent times, I would say it's accurate, which it isn't a very high bar, right? The bar is very low. But if you're saying the most libertarian president we've had, say, in the last 30 years, yeah, that's true. I would say that. Right? I think Reagan had some libertarian views. He had some. Clinton did maybe? Maybe. Depends on how you look. Depends on how you look at Clinton. You could probably find. Now, do you really count the free trade stuff? Yeah, I think you're stretching with Clinton. You're stretching. Bush, no. Bush 1, no. Reagan, some. You'd stretch with Clinton, not with Bush 1. Obama, no. Bush 2? No. So yeah, I say if he changed it to 30 years, 40 years even, if he changed that statement to 30 or 40 years, I would say it's probably true. Not a high bar to get over, but I would say it's accurate. Of all time, no. You could find some who'd have more. So yeah. Michelle says, oh, Jay's yelling hi. Hi, Jay. Hope you can hear me. Hi, Jay. All right. Kinderman says, would like to see Larry interview with Walter Block. I'll reach out. Maybe he'll do something. We'll see. I've only met him one time. Him and I are not friends. I don't have a very close relationship with him. I only met him one time. We're at some similar event together. Was it? I'm thinking I met him probably 5-6 years ago. And I think it was in New York at one of those Soho forums, I think. I only met him one time. And again, it wasn't like we sat and chatted for a while. Just pleasantries back and forth. That's as well as I know him. Pleasantries back and forth. That's all I know. Gee, I don't know. The AC says, Kennedy went to Oxford on a Rhodes Scholarship. Oh, I didn't know that. I knew he was smart. I didn't know he was, okay. So he's very smart. God, Siri, learn how to spell that. Yeah. Anyway, he should be speaking with an English accent, and that's like a foghorn leghorn and an old stuff. Yeah, he does that on purpose. Correct. Yes, he purposely. It's an act with him, and it's a good act. Like it works. It completely works. I knew he was very smart. I did not know he was a Rhodes Scholar. I did not know that, but I knew he was very smart. I was completely aware of that. It's all a show, and it's very nice. So yes, absolutely. Michael says, and thank you for being a member. I didn't watch Serpico, but the magazine spoof it was hilarious. Oh, I remember Mag magazine. I haven't read that in a long time. Yeah, absolutely. That's correct. So Felicia says, yeah, to the AC, that's why I love him. He's so funny how he sounds, but he's a genius. Correct. Yep. Absolutely. Correct. Yeah. Michael's going to say, no politician who wants success can succeed telling Americans they'll be in pain. That's the problem. Not true. I just told you Milei did it. Not true. Milei did it. I have evidence from last year. Milei did it. But you do it in a way that says you're going to push through. Reagan did it. Reagan had a similar situation. When Reagan came in 81, Mike, you were around, me and you were teens, right? We remember when Reagan, he was my first commander-in-chief. When Reagan came in, stuff wasn't great. Carter did not leave Reagan an amazing economy. If anyone was around that time, he did not leave Reagan an amazing economy. And it didn't get better immediately. If you remember, it was still going down when Reagan first took over. It didn't really come up to around 82, 83. That's when it started to go boom. That's when we got that big 80s is awesome. That was like 82, 83. Reagan did it. Reagan was a great communicator, right? Again, some of you guys don't like Reagan, not saying anything. I'm just saying communication-wise. To be forward, so was Clinton. Clinton was an amazing communicator, right? Better than Obama. People say Obama's great. Clinton was way better than Obama. And Clinton was better off the cuff than Obama was. Obama's very good on a teleprompter. Obama can move a crowd on a teleprompter. Get Obama off it. He's not bad. He's still slick and smooth, but he's nowhere near as good as he is on script. Clinton was good off script. So was Reagan. These are two very good speakers off script. They're killing it. So he's that. Trump is funny and he's a showman, but it's not the same. Trump's not Reagan. Trump's not Clinton. He's a funny, he's almost like a comedian in certain ways with his timing and when he does things. Yeah, he's different. So I think you have to. You've got to tell Americans it's going to be tough, but I got you. That's what has to come across in whatever way he's saying it. Milei did it, and so did Clinton. And not Clinton. Milei did it, and so did Reagan. Both of them did it. They're like, it's going to be tough, but I got you. Remember Reagan eventually said, it's morning in America. We're going to start getting back up again, right? He did all that stuff. But he was telling you, it's not great right now. He said it. It's true. So, all righty. Kim says, Trump is very mindful of setting up his legacy to be huge. Agreed. I do think he believes that that's going to work. I'm not sure it is. I am still worried about tariffs. I hope it's right. I hope he's right. Like, I hope that 6 months from now or a year from now, whatever, I'll bring Mike on and Mike give me a big I told you so and be like, Larry, I told you. He'll give me the whole I told you so for an hour. He'll just I told you so for an hour. So I hope so. Like, I want it to be true. I hope Mike is right. I hope he comes on and gives me I told you so for 30 minutes straight. I'm telling you, I hope I will happily invite him on. Give me 30 minutes of I told you so. I hope that happens. I'm worried that's not. But we'll see, right? Look, what I am happy about, which I will say it's better that we have him and Doge, is that at least we're going to get some change. And there's a chance for some real change, some chance for real change. And I hope it does work. I really think that it could work. So, yeah, we'll see. Mike says, it's over 300K live in New York as the 200,000 illegals are just in New York City, not a state in total. Yes, but compared, most of the migrants who come to New York State, most come through New York. Not all, you're right, but the vast majority. If we had 200 that came to New York City, what? 220,000 came to the state total? I mean, the vast majority come to filter through New York City. The vast majority do. So, yeah. Felicia says, I think classical liberals have libertarian views. Accurate. Most do. That's true. Most do. Yes. So, all right. Roy's got to start smacking. He says, replace most libertarian with most authoritarian. There, fixed it for you. Well, there we go. I love that. Michelle says, Kennedy, I think, was very much libertarian. Kennedy had libertarian views too, yes. But I was trying to go, I think one of the reasons why he got ended was because of that, Michelle. Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I do think, I think I've heard that, yes. That Liberty says, I've heard Chase in person many times. He was definitely for liberty. He also didn't want to trans the kids. Okay, no more inside LP baseball. It's exhausting and no triggering ladder. Yeah. Yes. Yes. I'm going to keep going. My skin, if I get triggered, Mike will be mad at me. So I don't want to mad at me. I'm not going to get triggered. I'm going to move on. Yes, absolutely. The AC said Reagan did that illegal alien amnesty. He also advocated open border. Yes, I'm telling you, he had some libertarian values. He did. So that's what I'm saying. If you make that 30 years, I would say yes. But once you go past that, I would say, no, there are others that are more libertarian, right? I think Reagan had libertarian views. And one of that was his amnesty program. That's giving people a path to citizenship is very libertarian, right? It's very libertarian. So yeah, I do think that you can find that. I agree. Yes. So, all righty. To be forward, George W. Bush was Rhodes Scholar too. Yeah, it's true. You're right. Mike says, Millet is not American, nor speaking to Americans. Also, Reagan did not say things would get worse, and the media was happy to blame Carter for Carter failures. No. You're missing my point completely. One, it doesn't matter whether Millet is American or not. Humans are humans. Does not matter. Argentinians aren't some different species than Americans are. No one likes to hear bad things, but what they have to do is hope. What Reagan did well is he provided hope. That was one of the things he did great. I mean, his hope piece was there, right? His hope piece was there. And the media did not like Reagan, dude. Just remember how much they blamed him all day long. They blamed him for everything. Do you remember? Some of you may not remember this. When Reagan got shot, if those of you are old enough, there were a bunch of people who were like, too bad he didn't finish the job. There was a bunch of people who just hated him. And when I'm gone, he was very good on providing hope. He was very good at that. I really do think he was. So, yeah. All righty. Let me grab some more of these if I can. Let me keep going. AC says, Nick Fuentes went off on Trump and his traveling salesman act earlier. Crystal and Kyle covered it and laughed their asses off. Yes, but there's a big but here, right? And this is the part that doesn't make any sense, shouldn't make any sense, but does. People who don't like Trump just keep insulting him. and laughing at him and making buffoonery. That doesn't work. They've been doing it on late night TV. They've been doing it on TV shows. They've been doing it on the radio. They've been doing it in podcasts. Literally now for almost a decade. 9 years now, 2016 or 2015. Oh my God, a decade. We've done it for a decade. It doesn't work. I get it. I'm sure it's funny. I'm sure it gets clicks. Good for them, I guess. They make their clicks. It doesn't work. If anybody wants to beat Trump, you have to have an answer. What's that saying that Nancy Pelosi said? You can't beat somebody with nobody. You can't beat his plan, no matter how bad you think his plan is, with no plan. That's not how that works. Everyone keeps saying, I can't believe Kathy Hochul was governor of New York. I'm asking, if you're a New Yorker right now, can you please give me any, please put in chat if you remember one. If you can remember one, not look it up, remember one. If you're a New Yorker, a New York State Republican policy that isn't more cops. I don't think Mike could even think of one without looking it up. One policy in New York State by the New York GOP that is not more cops. You can't beat Hochul with more cops. That's just not a thing. You have to have a plan. And the same way with Trump. Just making fun of him doesn't work. What's your plan? Well, I don't like his tariffs. Me either. What's your plan? Orange man bad. Not a plan, my friend. That's why he's president. So I get why they covered it and laughed. Good. They got clicks. They didn't change a damn thing. They changed nothing. Not a damn thing. So yes. Shan says, I'm a big fan of good third parties. I like libertarian policy at the party. Agreed. The party's a disaster. It's true. I'm not going to get triggered. I'm moving on. Mike, don't get mad. I'm moving on. There we go. TYT called classical liberal Bill Maher libertarian. Let me be about what happened to so many of these people. I speak often about Trump derangement syndrome and what an anomaly Trump is. Trump wrecked a lot of people. Like he gave them he wrecked a lot of people. He lives rent free in their heads. A lot of people. Bill Maher, if you go back 30 years, 20 years, had a deep libertarian streak. He was still left, but he had a deep streak of libertarianism in him. That used to be, past tense true. That is no longer true. And when did he make a clear and obvious change? Trump. He got TDS early. He was one of the first people to get it. He's like maybe he's patient zero. I don't know. But he's one that got it very early. And the second he had that, it was like all of a sudden Democrats are great. Whatever they say is good. Trump is evil. Whatever. He just became that guy. And his libertarianism just slowly dripped away. He just became a hardcore Democrat. He's not even a lefty. He's just a Democrat. And the funny part is he complains to Democrats all the time. He complains about California and then loves Gavin Newsom. By the way, he says it. He loves Gavin Newsom. He wants Gavin Newsom to be president. I'm not making that up. He said that more than once. He's had Gavin Newsom on the show more than once. He loves Gavin Newsom. The Bill Maher of 2000, the Bill Maher of 1995, the Bill Maher of 2010 would have never said that. Trump messed him up, messed with his brain. I'm not even joking. Like it gave him something. Now he does have still once in a while you'll see there's a little streak of libertarianism in him. A little bit. And every once in a while, like every 9 shows, it'll pop out. Like, I'm still here. Don't forget me. Use libertarian. All right, get back in there. So yes, I think if they've known him for a long time, then they might think that. Because there was a time when you could have said that. As I said, past tense. Could have said it past tense. So yes. All righty. Let's see if I can go down here. AC says, Medicare for all, national jobs guarantee, higher tax than he means on the rich. To be forward, well, I disagree with all of that. Doesn't matter. That's a plan. And if Democrats had actually picked that plan up and spoke about that, they could have beaten Trump. But they have no plan. This is what the left thinks, not Democrats. That's the problem for Democrats. This is a plan. Okay. There's a plan. So now someone go, oh, okay, there's a plan. You have an idea? And this also happens. Even if you disagree with Medicare for all or on jobs guarantee or higher tax on the rich, if you disagree with that, now you can compare it against Trump's plans and go, wait a minute, which one's a better plan? Do I prefer that plan or this plan? Now the plan is Trump's plan or Orange Man bad. I'm with you, AC. This is a way to actually win. This is a way that you could actually move people. That could actually happen. Right? And I'm agreeing with you. But when's the last time you heard a Democrat say those three things? Gamer Jam says, capitalists want you to believe that you're in competition with immigrants for limited resources. Is that what the government's doing? Okay. But at the same time, billionaires hoarding trillions of dollars worth of resources doesn't harm you at all because it's not a zero-sum game. Something doesn't add up. Here's the issue. In a market, that would be the idea of a non-zero-sum game would be true. So if we actually had a plan to actually bring migrants in and to actually vet them and make them legal and document them so they could go out and work, then I think that would be true. But we don't do that. So we create a black market. And in the black market, the resources are police forces, courts, and things like that we have to now use to bring these people in. And also, many of these people are physically getting goods and services from the state. That is a zero-sum game. You see it here in New York. They were just recently we had people who were Muslim who were coming and saying they didn't have halal food, and they were upset, talking to the city council. My kids can't eat the food. You have to have halal food for us. That kind of thing. Well, if you're doing that, that's a zero-sum game. So I think if you're looking at government resources that are coming from taxpayers, you're right. It's a zero-sum game. It is. Now, billionaires hoarding trillions of dollars. Well, not trillions, but billions of dollars, yes. Of course it's an issue. Of course it is. The wealth gap is real. But the wealth gap has happened, as I mentioned earlier. The wealth gap is real. I talk about it all the time. Where's the wealth gap the worst? In the most government-run states. New York State has the worst wealth gap in the world. I'm sorry, in the world. In the country. The worst in the country. And it has the most state-run everything. The states who have less state-run have a lower wealth gap. Are there still wealthy people? Yes. But you have a lower wealth gap when you have less government intervention. The freer your economy, the less wealth gap you have. And I'm not making that up. You can just do it's right there. You can just Google it. I'm not making this up. So I'm not saying you're wrong when it comes to billionaires hoarding money. I think they are. It's true. But how do I fix that? I don't fix that by trying to punish them. Here's the second piece. Most of these billionaires, not all, but most of them, how do they get the billionaire status? By some kind of government fiat, some kind of government answer, government monopolies. The richest man in the world is Elon Musk, one of the biggest government grifters there is. Well, if you don't have government grift, well, then Elon can't be that, can he? So I get what you're saying, but just blaming it on capitalism. Capitalism isn't, I know if you're far left, you disagree with me, but I'm going to tell you my opinion. Please keep watching. Capitalism isn't by itself evil. Capitalism is apathetic. It doesn't care, right? It's not trying to hurt, not what it does. It tries to make money, literally, capitalist. It tries to make capital. Get it? If you incentivize them effectively, you incentivize them to do the right thing or better things. Can you incentivize capitalists to be more people-centered? Of course you can. We don't do it, though. Now, the more local capitalism is, the more people-centered it is. Why? Because when capitalism is more localized, you know the people personally. You are connected to your environment. How do I know that? Am I just making this up? No. Two ways you can look at that. Number one, the small groups of people where we do best in, which is about 125 people. Number one, that's just science. If you want to look at that, do some homework if you care about that. I don't know if you care, but that's one. But number two, look at the local entrepreneurs. Who are the people who give the people who are in trouble the best second chance at life? Who hires the felons, right? Who hires the people who are divorced and now are in trouble because their husband or wife left them and now they're stuck with kids or something like that? Who does that? It's the local business owner who does that. I know that. My mother was an addict. My mother was a felon. Who hired her? Local diners. That's how she started making her living. So yes, how she paid for her. Yes, that's what happens, right? The big businesses go out of their way to not care about that. They're not connected to the group, to the society. The more localized your capitalism is, the better off it will be for the people. And you can do it. Remember, capitalism is not evil. It is literally apathetic. It does not care. You make a better system, you get better capitalism. You get worse capitalism. You look at places that don't have capitalism, you still have wealth gaps. You still have it. You still have wealth gaps. So thank you for that, but please keep watching. Yes. All righty. Let's see here. Kinnaman says, thoughts on Curtis Sliwa. I like Curtis. I know him personally. He teases me whenever he meets me. He goes, Mr. Libertarian. That's what he calls me whenever he sees me. So it's nice. I like him. He's a great guy. I like him. But he has no chance of victory in New York City. None. It's 6-1 Democrat Republican. He is being the sacrificial lamb because he is supporting the Republican Party. So he's prepared to take the L again. Nobody else wants to take the L. So he'll take it for them. That's how that's working. But personally, I know him. I like him. I don't have a problem with him. I think he does care about New York City. I think he does. I think he does. The problem with Curtis is he does have a lot of physical issues. Curtis has been shot, people don't know this, multiple times. Not once, multiple times. You get shot a lot, physically shot up, and he's older. It's affecting him. So, yeah, it's tough. It is tough. So, all righty. Let me see if I can go back down here again if I can. Grab some more of these. Dow says, the AC corporatist agreed. Medicare for all, jobs guarantee, and tax the wealthy and corporations. Again, that's a plan. That's a plan. Yes. Roy says most of the poorest states and net recipients of the federal fiscal in the nation are the most Republican dominated. It's not the wealth gap issue, but a wealth issue. Billionaires may leave New York, but they're not going to Mississippi, Kentucky, West Virginia. No, they are going to Texas, Florida, Arizona a little bit, but heavily Texas and Florida. And now you're finding one of the worst things they're doing is actually just leaving. They're just leaving the entire country. That's happening also, leaving the entire country. But they all live in New York. That's true. And they live in New York. And we still have the worst wealth gap, Roy. We lost, if I remember right, by the IRS, not last year, I don't have data for that, for the year before, 2024, New York State lost $20 billion in revenue from migration. It's not working. It's not working. And the poorer states, some of them are growing, some aren't. States like Alabama, which actually is a very poor state, is actually growing. It's like West Virginia, which is a poor state, is actually not growing. So it depends on the state, right? So I'm not sure you can say, like, if you look at Alabama, Alabama's actually growing. I think Mississippi might be growing too. I'm not sure. I don't know about that. West Virginia is not growing. Kentucky is growing. So you are finding some that do grow. Depends. So yeah, any case. All righty. Let's see here. Gamer Gem goes on to say, I think it's important to give people hope. Yep. It's critical. You have to be able to get people to feel like there's something forward going on here. They can get it. So yes, absolutely. So, all righty. The AC goes on to say, I think it's being a member, AC. And also there's that thing in Puerto Rico where if you move there, you don't have to pay it either income tax or capital gains tax. That's why I have Puerto Rico property value. Oh yes, that's why Puerto Rico property values have gone through. Yes, the problem in Puerto Rico obviously is Jones Act is a problem, right? But also, if you live in Puerto Rico and you reside in Puerto Rico, I'm pretty sure you can't vote in federal elections. You have the residence in another state someplace. Well, that does affect you there too. I'm pretty sure that's how that works. So yeah, but yeah, people do it. I get it. They're getting out. I get it. AC goes on to say, yeah, lots of corporations are moving out of California, New York to places like Texas and Florida. Yep, for no state taxes, incentives, and fewer worker protections. Yes, you're right. Yes, it's absolutely true. I think it's happening all over the place. You want to have a system where people and corporations can somehow function together. That's not easy to do when you have a system to where it's just a one-party system or where politics is only about government and corporations being hand in hand. And sadly, many people think libertarians want government and corporations to work hand in hand. We don't at all. Libertarians are not about that. We're not about that at all. And sadly, that's what often happens. That's the problem. So yeah, a lot of pieces. Yeah. Hirsch Ferrio says, Bill Maher loves Newsom because he has great hair. It is true. He does have great hair. That's accurate. You're not wrong on that. Guys, what I want to ask you to, if you don't mind, please click the button known as like. Do that if you would. Also, please share this if you haven't already. Repost it. I hope my ideas on what's happening in the Democratic Party were interesting for you. A little bit inside baseball in that regard, how things are actually working, what they're thinking, what they're trying to do right now, whether it will work or not, I'm unsure. Chuck Schumer is a powerful foe. He will not be easily vanquished. And I do not think that, to Mike's point, I think AOC is not the one who will do it, but there has to be like a face to get people going to see if it's going to happen. If in the next couple of months, you see AOC and or others out there beating up Schumer and it grabbing some attention and staying, it's working. If you see all of a sudden, like in 3 weeks, no one's talking about it anymore, it failed. That's how you know. Does it keep going? Right? If you remember, I told you when Biden was going to drop in the summer. I told you it was going to happen. I said when Biden had that terrible, debate with Trump, I told you, I said, this weekend, they are now sending out their people to get the press to stop talking about this. Stop talking about it. And I said, by Monday, if you hear them still talking about this debate performance, he's going to drop this week. I told you that the week before. I said, if no one's talking about it on Monday, he's staying in. They were talking about it on Monday. And I told you he's dropping out. And that week he dropped out. That's how it works. The same thing here. If 2 weeks from now, give or take, people are still talking about how Schumer screwed it up, how he should have done it, what should have happened, why didn't he? If that's happening, the coup is gaining strength. If it's like, we don't remember anything about that. What happened? There was no vote. Vote? What vote? I don't remember any vote. He squashed it. It's squashed. That's how you'll know. That's what's happening right now. And that's why the people who are saying what they're saying, that's how it's working. I think you do. You'll see that completely. So, yeah. All right. Let's see here. Nico says, I'll tell you, I work under Mark Murphy, and he just had dinner with I think it's Kamala Harris and a bunch of New York City Dems with Cuomo. They're mounting massive pressure on Adams. I wonder why. Do they think that Adams can actually have any chance at beating Cuomo? Or they just want to do they want like him to drop and like endorse Cuomo? I feel like that's unnecessary. Right? I feel like that's unnecessary. Like Adams is very beatable. Why would you put pressure on Adams? I don't know why. I'm kind of curious why would you do a full court press on Adams? I wouldn't do a full court press on him at all. I'd let him fail on his own. That's resources that you don't need to go someplace else. You wouldn't put any pressure on somebody, put it on Mamdani. Mamdani has a future. Adams has no future. Adams, if possible, it is very unlikely, but there is a chance, very unlikely, but there is a chance that Adams could still win mayor. Could happen. It's like way long shot. Could happen. But no matter what, he can't go any further than that. He has no other chance than anything else. That's his only chance. His chance is he can somehow hold out long enough and Cuomo does something terrible in some way, shape, or form, or some other woman comes up and says he grabbed her something else or whatever. Maybe. Nicholas is right there. I'm voting Adams right now. Yes, you're not alone. Adams has got about 15% of the vote right now in the primary at the moment. And this actually is a ranked choice voting. So there is a chance, right? If Cuomo doesn't win up front with ranked choice voting, there is a chance, again, very low, that Adams can win if he holds on and Cuomo does something bad. That's about the only way. So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe it makes sense. I'm not sure. We'll see. So, anyway, Mike goes, Larry, Cuomo has insane levels of hate and negative history. They need an easy primary with little dirt, so Cuomo rehabilitated and no pushback to elected Dem supporters. Maybe. I don't know. I don't think so, man. I don't see it. I don't see it. Have you seen like every New York Democrat is backing Cuomo? Almost everyone is. I don't see it at all. I can't see that. I can't see it. AC says the progressives are coalescing around behind Zorn. Yes. By the way, AC, if you want to see, I had him on my show. Google Mamdani and Larry Sharpe. He's a great. I like him. I had him on my show. We talked. I mean, I obviously disagree with him. He's my state. He's actually my state assemblyman. No, state senator. State senator? He's my state senator. So yeah, so I know the guy. He's a nice guy. I like him. Again, he's a DSA member. We don't agree on politics, but that hasn't stopped me from liking people in the past. So yeah, no, I had him on my show. He talked. He's very open and very forward. Came on my show. I can't get my city councilman to come on my show. I can't get Tiffany Cabana to come on my show, but I can get him. So he came on 2 years ago, maybe, give or take, in that area. And yes, that was my point. If you're gonna pressure anybody, you pressure him, right? You pressure Mamdani. You don't pressure Adams. I don't see it. I don't. Adams. The thing about it is, Adams and Cuomo have a similar base. That makes any sense. And they have a similar base, and they and Cuomo's way more popular. Mamdani is different base. That's why I'd go for his base instead. AC goes, so you live in a district that has both AOC and Zoran. Yes. And Tiffany Caban. Yes. When I tell you my district is left, I wasn't joking. When I tell you most people around me are Democrats, I'm not joking. I live, yeah. Mamdani wins when he runs the race 99-1. 99% to 1. The Republicans don't run anybody in my district anymore. They stopped a long time ago. They stopped 10 years ago. They don't run anybody anymore. So yeah, that's where I live. So yes, absolutely. That is funny. Mike goes, Zoran Mamdani is a radical. True. I saw the video of him losing his mind in support of pro-Hamas supporters. He tried to physically fight Homan for enforcing law. No, he did. He is a DSA member. He 100%, no doubt. 100%. You are correct, Mike. It's true. He is a DSA member, but he's not a bad guy to meet him, to talk to him. I had a great time talking to him. I didn't mind him at all. He seemed to be honest with me, tell me what he actually felt. We disagreed on many things. I thought it was a good conversation. I don't mind it. Anyway, guys, I'm going to let you guys run. Remember, tomorrow I will be on AMA tomorrow at 7 p.m. Please show if you can. If you haven't already liked it, it's because you're the children. I know you love children, so please click the like button. And when this is over, after it's over, please leave a comment down and put the comment down on. Okay, I got it. Here's the comment. The comment is on, what do you think of AOC? Whatever that is, good, bad, or indifferent, positive, not positive, whatever. What do you think of AOC? I will see you all